What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the spot where we kick back and react to all kind of different things. Alright, so what we got going on today? Here we are back with Let's Ask SHOGO. A recent video he's dropped. What I don't like about how Busuu teaches you Japanese. Really interesting because I'm actually using Busuu along with a few other apps right now, so but I use multiple resources in my studies, so let's see what he's talking about, what issues SHOGO has with Busuu and how it teaches you. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. I feel like this might be very informative. Good stuff to know. Let's go.
どうぞよろしく、お姉さん。What happened? However, I personally, I guess this is my preference, but... 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask SHOGO. So as you guys...
Oh wait, hang on, what did it say right there at the beginning? Japanese instructor in training reacts to Busuu. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember he was talking about that before on one, like a really old video.
皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask SHOGO. So as you guys probably already know, I'm right now studying to become a Japanese language instructor, and recently I've been making a lot of videos trying out some of the Japanese learning apps, and I have been receiving a lot of requests for other learning apps and websites and such, but I think last time we did Duolingo, this time I'd like to try out Busuu. By the way guys, I have actually started taking classes to become a Japanese language instructor at the point of recording. Right now is December 2022. I've been already taking classes for about a month now, but I'm really enjoying the process. And again, this is all thanks to you guys supporting me through Ko-fi. Please stay excited that in about a year I will become a professional and be able to do lessons online and so on and so forth. So then, without further ado, let's jump into Busuu and let's see how it is. So here we are, the Busuu website. I want to learn Japanese right here. Want to unlock hundreds of Japanese lessons? Okay, so you have to make an account. Okay, here we go. Hi Shogun Gucci, why are you learning Japanese? Friends and family, education, fun and culture, travel, work, brain training. Well, I guess a lot of people who watch my videos would probably press education, probably. Yeah, so let's try out education for right now. Set a daily study goal. Oh yeah, this existed in Duolingo as well. Let's just go with regular for now. We're busy building your first Japanese lesson. Oh, and it's ready. That was fast. Your Japanese lesson is ready. We built it just for you. Wow. Okay.
こんにちは.
Konnichiwa.
The good old basics.
This means hello, true or false. It's true. Okay. So you listen to the sound and you're asked about the question. I'm pretty sure this is like the first test to decide where your level is, probably. It suddenly started without any exclamation, so I don't know what I'm doing right now, but...
こんにちは.
I don't know, the pronunciation sounds a little bit machine-like, but...
It's very robotic, I will say, when using this app. It is very robotic. You can tell that it's not a normal person speaking, or they didn't record an actual person. They used a machine. But one thing that I will say that I do like about Busuu over Duolingo, even though I am using both, is that Duolingo oftentimes throws entire words or sentences at you that you have no idea what they're talking about, and it doesn't really explain context a lot. You have to go through it a few times to figure it out for yourself. Busuu tends, so far from what I've seen, they are a little bit more clear in what they're trying to teach you and everything, especially through the pictures and sounds and everything else. Duolingo, it's like once you know it, then it's no longer a problem, but they're not great at introducing new material as you progress. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Okay, they pronounce it for you again, and you get to choose from these tawashi or watashi. Tawashi is actually a cleaning tool that you use in Japan.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. They swerving you with cleaning tools. Oh wow.
I really like it though that they have these, probably a Japanese person pronouncing it in the beginning though. That's really nice. Oh, put the words in order now. No, this is really easy for now, yeah, because you learned the basics already earlier, so you just have to put it in. Watashi wa Mariko desu. Oh, this is nice. However, I personally, I guess this is my preference, but I personally wouldn't recommend starting to try to learn Japanese from these alphabets though. I mean, it's okay to have it, when you're still learning the words, but answering it in alphabets is not a good idea, I personally think. Because watashi is not watashi, right? If you look at this in English, it looks as watashi, but that's not the right pronunciation. Like, for example, when I studied Mandarin, when I was in Beijing to study Chinese, of course, Mandarin has the pinyin and you can read the Chinese in pinyin, but some people, my other Japanese students were writing the ways of reading the pinyin in katakana, for example, and then because they memorized the katakana inside their heads, their pronunciation in Chinese never got better, for example. So, I mean, I guess this is just like the very, very beginning, so it's okay, but I personally would recommend you to continue learning Japanese using alphabets. Oh,
and I totally agree with that as well. I had learned not to do that early on, so I made sure I didn't. Romaji is very easy to utilize as a bridge, but it shouldn't be a crutch. You shouldn't use it. You should use, like, when I use Romaji, I use it basically when I'm completely lost on a word, like, what is this? And I look at Romaji like, okay, then I go right back over to hiragana and katakana and such. I would say don't attach yourself to Romaji where you start using it as a crutch. As quickly as possible, get to where your mind understands and processes hiragana at the very least, then work on katakana and of course the kanji. You can't forget about the kanji. But yeah, I totally agree with that. Don't lean on the alphabets, on, English letters, on Romaji. Don't lean on it. You can have it there when you need it, when you need to make sense of something, but don't lean on it.
See, lesson complete. Oh, so yeah, again, just like Duolingo, it has different complete whatever lessons and get how many points and that kind of stuff. And stay on target with daily reminders. Of course, yeah, you need these reminders to keep you, of course, motivated and to always remember that you need to be doing this, right? Yeah, this is really, really good. Oh, so it's actually not completely free, though. Oh, no. And in the beginning, though, you can start with a 7-day free trial. Interesting. Ad-free. Oh, there's actually ads in between? Wow, if you have ads in between studying a language, that would be a little bit annoying, to be honest. Well, how about we start the 7-day free trial then? And
it is annoying. Gotta admit, it is annoying. But that's what all apps these days, they all have ads if you're using the free version. I mean, they gotta survive somehow. So I guess that's just the way it is. I do have the free version on here because I got like a special deal, so I only paid like very, very little. I think like maybe like $30 or something, because it was like, I think it was part of like the Black Friday deal or something. Can't remember. But yeah, definitely any app that you're gonna use the free version of, you're gonna get ads. That's just a given.
This one is the 7-day free trial. Okay. Oh, and you have to pay the payment stuff. An year, 10,000 yen. Well, I guess that's not so bad. I guess it's acceptable. It really probably depends on how seriously you want to study on Busuu, and I got in. Welcome to Premium Plus Shogun Start Learning Japanese. Let's see. Okay, so we already did beginner A1. We did the konnichiwa, hello. So we're going to be moving on from here. And there's chapter 2, chapter 3, and you can see on the sidebar here that it goes down a lot more. Let's see how far it goes down.
It goes down pretty far.
Down, and the last one is chapter 15. Okay. I thought that would be more, but there's actually only level 15. Nice.
It goes further. You have beginner
and
A1.
This is the learn page, but there's also over here review. Okay. Word strength, it kind of reviews all the lessons that you've taken, probably gives you feedback. It tells you all the words that you've memorized to the lessons. And there's also this tab called community. Interesting. So you get to find a Japanese speaker, the people who are Japanese but trying to learn a different language. They probably match you up and stuff. So I think this is a great feature of Busuu. So then let's actually...
That feature that you're speaking on right there, that one needs work. It is a good feature for the most part, but it definitely needs work. They need to... Because the whole idea is for you to communicate with other people, English speakers, talking to Japanese speakers, and back and forth in other languages as well. I guess for me it feels like there could be more, because so far the only thing you really can do is evaluate someone else's lesson. Like if someone puts out there, hey, this is like how's my speech, or how's my grammar, or how's my writing or whatever, and basically you can go in and grade them, and then other people can come in and grade you. So there's still like a little barrier there keeping us from actually communicating with each other. So, and I think that kind of sucks because that makes it harder, because the whole idea of that is to be like, hey, make friends on here who speak other languages, but you're not really doing that. You guys are just grading each other's lessons like you're on two opposite ends of a classroom. I mean, which is, I guess it's a start, but it definitely could use a lot of improvement.
Actually move on to try out some of the other lessons too. Let's move on to the lesson number 2. Nice to meet you, okay?
こんにちは。
Konnichiwa. Ah, okay, and you press in konnichiwa. Well, I guess it's okay for now, but these
Again, the
machine
Romaji
voices,
again.
you know, isn't really good for you to try to memorize the right pronunciation though, because you never say konnichiwa in real life in Japan, right? You would say konnichiwa, right? So I really hope they would use the human voices for all of these audios, but I guess they don't for now.
はじめまして。私はマナです。どうぞよろしく。
Okay, so it starts to get a little bit longer. So it's はじめまして as we learned earlier. 私はマナです。どうぞよろしく. Okay. Pleased to meet you. どうぞよろしく. When meeting someone for the first time, say はじめまして your name and どうぞよろしく. People often bow to. Well, you could bow, of course, but どうぞよろしく? I guess it's not wrong or anything, but I would usually say よろしくお願いします if you're going to be doing something together with that person. どうぞよろしく is a really difficult line between casual and polite, because you could say よろしくお願いします どうぞよろしくお願いします is something that you could say instead.
Yeah. Like me personally, what I've learned how is that those are in the lessons that I've had in other apps and other learning outlets, is that dozo yoroshiku still leans more over to the casual side. Just like you said, yoroshiku onegai shimasu is more formal, and if you want to take it a step above that, combine all three. Dozo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. That's how I've learned it, and it looks like Shogo agrees.
Would it be suitable to say anyone you just met? I personally wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so the lesson is completed as well. This is nice though, taking a look at it. You start from konnichiwa, nice to meet you, good morning, let's communicate. Yeah, this is really nice. Let's go down a little bit though. I think I'm able to take the checkpoint tests already. Or score 80% or above to be able to get to the next chapter, right? Yeah. So I can see.
Speaking of that right there, for those of you, as a fair warning, I've done the checkpoints as well because, like I said, I only recently got into this app, so I was able to go ahead and checkpoint and skip ahead. The problem is, even you skipping ahead pretty much unlocks all these lessons, but it doesn't complete them. Like if you go onto Duolingo and you jump ahead, then they recognize, okay, you already know this material, and so it pretty much marks all the lessons that you jumped ahead of as pretty much complete. They know this. This doesn't work like that. You jump ahead and all these lessons become unlocked, but they're still listed as incomplete. So you still kind of have to go back and do them if you want to complete the little progression bar, which, yeah, they need to fix that.
That the hiragana starts from this lesson or chapter 2. So let me try to take the test for this checkpoint here. I want to see when the hiragana shows up because just trying to learn Japanese with just the alphabets is just really strange for me.
天ぷら、刺身、お好み焼き。
Nothing has changed yet, only alphabets. And I think he said what? Tempura, sashimi, okonomiyaki? The way they pronounce it is just so unnatural though.
マリアさんは医者ですか?
Oh, so it's a question. Maria-san wa isha desu ka? Oh, finally! Some good hiragana there. Finally. Is Maria a doctor? Good. However, I would like to point out, right now, I'm studying to become a Japanese English instructor, right? For beginners, if you cannot use any kanji characters yet because of the level, if you're going to be using hiragana, you should have some spaces in between each word. Because, for example, if you look at this right now, Maria-san wa isha desu ka? It's really hard to see where it ends, where each word ends, for example, right? So I would say it would be much kinder to beginners if there was a little bit of space in between each word. It would be much easier to understand.
Unpopular opinion, I would like for the hiragana to have spaces between just as a permanent form of usage. Because if we had spaces, we would no longer need kanji at all. And I can't stand kanji. And I know I'm not the only one. Oh man, but that's the kanji is pretty much the replacement for spaces. That's like how they differentiate a lot of stuff. So yeah, he's absolutely right. Me personally, I wouldn't mind this style of hiragana to be the norm. Although we all know that's not going to happen.
And select the hiragana in the order aiueo. Yeah, aiueo is the basic order of the Japanese hiragana. Aiueo finally gets to the hiragana and how you read it. I think you should immediately start from this, to be honest. Oh, interesting. It tells you about the order of writing lines too. And this is probably true. Interesting, interesting. Well, this is probably something I've never seen in all of the other websites I've tried out before so far. A lot of people ask me often when they study hiragana, katakana, kanji characters that in Japan, we always talk about which lines to draw first, the order of drawing the lines and everything. And a lot of people ask me, is this really important? And the answer is, yes, it is very important. Because depending on some of the kanji characters, some of the hiragana, katakana, and so on and so forth, some of them look very, very similar. Now, for example, so and chi and tsu, for example, all of these different letters, depending on which way your stroke is heading, it changes that letter. So this is something that you really do need to remember.
どうぞ、
ありがとう。
いいえ。
Oh my gosh. Again, the beginning was so nice with those real Japanese people pronouncing it, but it doesn't sound natural at all. I really wish they would have like two Japanese people doing this. You could use just these words. Let's say, dozo, and the other person could say, arigato, would be a little bit more natural. You would have these sounds in a real life. So in between, the space in between is way too short to be natural, and you're like robots. Well, basically it is a robot speaking this, so having the impression of Japanese just by these robot voices wouldn't be recommended. This is the same thing I said in Duolingo. And
Yep, and that's exactly why you should not lean on one source for learning. Like, in my opinion, these apps are great for getting to know different, structures, sentence structures, learning new words and things like that. But you should definitely have another source for practice when it comes down to learning how to speak naturally. Like, my opinion is go watch a lot of Japanese dramas and then slice of life anime. Those I've seen have the most natural Japanese in it. But yeah, don't lean on these apps to learn how to speak. You can learn definitely for what to say and how to put words together, but your pronunciation, your accent, all of that, you definitely want to find other sources.
So having the impression of Japanese just by these robot voices wouldn't be recommended. This is the same thing I said in Duolingo. And I think I completed the checkpoint with all the scores. That's good. And by clearing the checkpoint, I have opened up all of the lessons in that chapter. Interesting. Then finally,
but
let's go.
Just like I said, you look at there, he opened it up, but the completion is still at 0. So it didn't really give you a jump in that sense. The completion bar is still where it's at. So again, I feel like that's something that needs to change. If you can jump ahead and prove that you know the material, then the lessons that would have led up to that checkpoint should just be automatically completed, just like it would be in a few other apps. So again, y'all need to update that. Seriously.
All the way down and try to take the most difficult exam then. Ready to level up? You reached the end of Complete Japanese Beginner A1. Test your skills and prove how far you've come with a Busuu certificate. Oh, this is where you get the certificate. Cool. Test your skills then. Start the test. I hope this isn't too long.
おはようございます。
Okay, now there's only hiragana. Interesting.
私は学生です。
Watashi wa gakusei desu. So, ha and wa, when it's used as an adjective, ha turns into wa, but it's this ha actually is when it is used as an adjective. So this is something that you absolutely need to know. Like the correct particles. Maria-san wa yoku ramen to soba wo tabemasu. These particles are one of the most difficult parts of Japanese, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I've actually been taking lessons on how to teach the particles and adjectives and so on and so forth, but this is probably going to be the most difficult parts of Japanese.
Very much. I spent the majority of my time trying to understand particles, and I get a lot of them, but not all of them. I'm still like, okay, when do you put this here, and where do you put that there? I know where I know where wa goes. I know where o goes. I know where te goes. I know where ga goes most of the time. But then after that, it just starts getting a little hazy because there's so many. And then the fact that they have multiple uses, it's like, oh, particles. The bane of my existence.
山、川、
Oh, kanji characters.
水、弟。
But this is difficult. Yama, kawa, hana, mizu, ototo. Oh, I got it cracked. Good. Yeah, these are probably the first grade elementary school kanji characters that we study in Japan. Really important though. We use them a lot in daily life.
Yeah, I know those a little bit. I don't have them fully memorized, so I probably would have messed up that question. Like, wait, which one goes where?
Select correct tip forms. Interesting. This kaku is to write, so that's kaite. Habete. My gosh, this is interesting. I studied about the tip forms too already.
はじめまして、マイケルです。中国語の学生です。旅
Student
行
of
が大
Chinese.
好きです。今年、フランスに行きます。
There's a lot of unneeded information in between. But he said in the beginning that he studies Chinese. Match words with
I like those lessons as well too, because they throw a whole sentence at you and they pick one part of it. So what did they say? Translate it? So yeah, that's like a good test question right there, in my opinion.
meanings too. On here we have the hiragana, how to read it along with the kanji characters. Urui is old, omoshiroi is interesting, and yasui is
cheap.
Well, strictly speaking, omoshiroi is not only interesting but also just simply funny. Yeah, or entertaining could be omoshiroi as well. Interesting might be a little bit, the level of how funny it is. In English, if you say interesting, it's like pretty low, isn't it? But in Japanese, it could be a stronger meaning of really funny or enjoyable kind of thing. Select all the words used to talk about your own family members. Okay. Whoa. What happened?
No, not one.
What? Select all the words used to talk about your own family members, right? お母さんお父さん is incorrect. What? I mean, these haha, ani, ane, ototo, chichi, imoto are really polite ways, respectful ways, to call your parents or your family members to other people. But you can say お母さんお父さん to your friends, for example, to refer to your own family members. So this is a little bit weird.
It's a little bit weird, but I've noticed that this method for your personal family as opposed to speaking to somebody else's, I've seen it taught this way in almost every resource I've looked at. So I feel like this might be one of those situations where it's textbook correct, but it's not used this way in everyday Japanese dialect. It's like a lot of things like in English, like there's certain things that are textbook correct, but we never ever use it that way. And I believe that this is one of those situations. And that's why he got it wrong, because they just don't use it that way, even though it's technically the way that it's meant to be used, I guess.
Maybe it was trying to ask how to refer to your family members politely in Keigo. I couldn't understand the concept just from this question. It needs to clearly say politely or in Keigo. Oh, finally, something to type. 日本はとても綺麗ですね。来年東京. Okay, it needs to be 東京. Okay, 東京へ行きましょう. Finally, you need to start typing it. And in order to type, you need to know the alphabets. Well, I guess in that way, you do need to know the alphabets. But still, studying it from the beginning, no, you should absolutely have the hiragana. What is the correct way to invite someone to go to a party? No, the thing is, I have noticed this already, but the pictures they use on Busuu are the copyright-free pictures that I often use in my videos. One, for example. What is the correct way to invite someone to go to a party? No, the middle one. 行きましょう.
That's funny.
Yeah, something ましょう. Yeah, let's do something together.
Oh, that's hilarious. It's like this app is using the same stock footage as me.
Kind of thing. Oh, so now you have to read a long paragraph here. 私は日曜日が大好きです。月曜日から土曜日まで7時に起きます。でも日曜日は10時に起きます。いいですね。起きて朝ごはんを食べます。大抵朝ごはんはパンとオレンジジュースです。11時頃公園へ行きます。そこで友達に会って一緒に喫茶店に行きます。喫茶店でサンドイッチとケーキを食べます。That's a lot of eating and drinking. そして家に帰ります。家で妹とテレビを見てアイスクリームを食べます。Again eating? 月曜日に早く起きますから大抵9時半に寝ます。Okay.
月曜日から土曜日まで7時に起きます。
But on Sundays, she wakes up at
日
10,
曜
right?
日は10時に起きます。
Yes, so
いいで
that's
すね。
true.
Oh, that was.
いいですね.
I haven't gotten that far to get a big one like that. So this is basically reading comprehension. Oh man, I've always excelled at reading comprehension in English. I wonder how I'll do when I get to this point.
Really, really weird though. いいですね. いいですね is something that you say to other people, you know. I bought this clothes, what do you think? You could say, oh, いいですね, すごくお綺麗ですよ, 似合ってますよ. You could say that. But like saying something to yourself, you know. But let's say, for example, you know, oh, look at this Haori Himo, you know, this kimono string here. It's nice, isn't it? いいですね would be really, really weird. Like saying, like, good for you to yourself in English, that would be like, good for you, like, good for me kind of thing, you know. I mean, you could say it as a joke, maybe, but you would never say いいですね to yourself, though. Very, very strange. Yay! I finished it! Well done, Shogo Yamaguchi. You scored 25 out of 26 and earned an A1 completion certificate. Your certificate will be emailed to you. Wow, okay, cool. Shogo Yamaguchi, download certificate. Oh, so you literally get this paper. Oh, okay, I guess you can kind of like maybe use this for a resume that you've done some studying. Oh, this is really, really nice. And I have passed, so I get to start the next level, A2. And it seems there's A1, A2, B1, and B2 and goes up to more difficult levels. And if you want to, you could take a look at B2, but it seems there are no jumping tests that you can immediately take. So, B1,
okay.
Until B1, there are the checkpoints. So if you want to jump, you could jump using these checkpoints from B1 as well. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. So I can completely understand the reason why a lot of people have been recommending Busuu to me. It is a very beautiful, well sorted out website, and I think it could be recommended to many people to study Japanese. However, as I said in the main part of the video too, a few points that did concern me is that there are simply some false information included, and also the beginning, the first parts to get started to learn Japanese through Busuu. Again, it starts off with doing only the alphabets, which I personally really don't like, and also the machine voices really concern me a lot. So, but again, as I always say, there are no perfect websites, there are no perfect applications. You need to think of these things as just something that will help you, you know, on your free time do more studying. So for the main textbook or the main context you have for studying, you should have a Japanese tutor, or you should have you should go to class or school. That would absolutely be much more important if you really want to master your skills in Japanese. And guys, while watching this video, if you're a student of Japanese, please let me know in the comments if you notice anything else about Busuu, some good points, any of the bad points, and also, as I always say, please let me know in the comments again any other recommendations for me to review on or react to. I'll be definitely taking a look at the
Alright, so that's pretty much the end of that right there. And yeah, I pretty much agree with what he's saying, but what I've noticed is that there's no one single app that's going to get it all right. I've used a plethora of different apps. And yeah, they're all missing something. And then the good ones provide a lot of great information. So never stick to one app thinking that it's going to get you that far. Use multiple resources, definitely. But yeah, Busuu is good. It just needs some tweaks in some areas. Like I said, the voices are too robotic sometimes. It's just like, that does not sound natural at all. I do agree with him on them shoving too much Romaji in your face. They should be sticking to more hiragana and katakana. And yeah, even though he didn't take a look at it himself, they have a lot of work to do on their community page and everything, where you're supposed to be able to communicate with other people, because right now it's pretty bland. You can only really do one thing, which is reviewing other people's work and then waiting for somebody to review your work. And yeah, that's kind of stale to me. But other than that, outside of that, I do feel that it's a really good app, and how it kind of like takes you through the steps to learning certain things is well thought out, much better than Duolingo. While Duolingo is great in other areas as well, it's just not great at introducing new material to you. But anyway, that's my take on it, and as you can see, that's Shogo's take on it. So let me know what you guys think, alright? And so that's it for now. So till next time, take care of yourselves, and I'm out of here.